When we saw Jalen Hurts orchestrate Alabama to within a drive of a national championship in 2016, then the next season, of course, they march on to a national championship. Tua comes in relief in the second half. I don't know for as much as I think anybody with half a brain admired what Jalen Hurts was accomplishing as a collegiate quarterback, we necessarily saw him raising his game, especially with the downfield passing, to be able to not only play in the NFL, but now he's leading the team with the best record in the NFL that is marching on to the Super Bowl. It's pretty remarkable.
If you look at just the journey, Mark, this young man at 24 years of age, it is incredible. And I go back to the summer before the 2016 season started. I remember I had talked to so many people I knew within the program about, Jalen Hurts possibly being the first true freshman quarterback to start in the Nick Saban era. And upon me breaking the story for Touchdown Alabama before the season started, I got hit with criticism from everywhere, but we all knew what happened. Hurts became the guy and put together just an incredible 3 years at Alabama, despite, being benched for Tua Tagovailoa in the national championship against Georgia. But he comes back in the SEC championship the following year, takes over for an injured Tua, and gets Alabama to that conference championship against Georgia. He goes on to Oklahoma, has the great year there with Lincoln Riley, kind of polishing him up there for the NFL. And just what he has done 2 years as a starter, especially this year, showing everybody that, look, I'm not just a complete quarterback, I'm a complete player, and I can be a star in this league. And he's become an absolute leader and an absolute superstar in the league to where he's a finalist for the MVP. He's a finalist for Offensive Player of the Year. He's one win away from a Super Bowl. I mean, Jalen Hurts is one win away from becoming the fourth former Alabama quarterback to take a team to the Super Bowl, joining Bart Starr, Joe Namath, and Ken Stabler. I mean, to have your name just mentioned among those three men, wow. Jalen Hurts is one win away from doing that. So just his ability to keep the same demeanor about himself and silence critics all at the same time, just a remarkable wisdom from a man that's 24 years old.
Yeah, Alabama certainly jumped on top of the rest of college football when it came to placing quarterbacks in the Super Bowl in those early years, but it's been a while. And now with Jalen Hurts. And the thing that's also stunning about what he's been able to accomplish, Stephen, is he's not going to fool anyone into thinking that he's the next Peyton Manning or Tom Brady when it comes to dissecting a defense or making precision throws downfield. He's been able to fit into what has become the new NFL with players like himself and Lamar Jackson as starting quarterbacks.
I mean, absolutely. And it goes back to, give the Eagles front office a ton of credit. You give Jeff Lurie, you give Howie Roseman, you give that brass of Philadelphia a ton of credit. They knew we already have a quarterback in Carson Wentz, but they saw something in Jalen Hurts in the second round of a 2020 NFL draft, and they thought, we got to roll the dice here. Let's just see what we can get. Let's just see what we have. Let's see what we can produce. I know at that time, Doug Peterson was the head coach. You let go of Doug Peterson. You bring in a Nick Sirianni, an underrated coach, an underdog mentality that matches the underdog mentality of a Jalen Hurts, and you just saw it grow. And then you pair it with a quarterback coach in Brian Johnson. And a lot of people forget Brian Johnson played quarterback at Utah, was behind Alex Smith. He coached the quarterback position in the SEC, whether it was Mississippi State, whether it was at Florida. And then you pair Sirianni, an underdog, Brian Johnson, an underdog, with Jalen Hurts, an underdog, and they all three formulate this type of a season. You got to give the Eagles credit for understanding. We know we got something here. Can we fine-tune it and put everything correct around him? And the Eagles brass did just that.
Stephen, I don't know if Alabama fans forget that Brian Johnson played a high level of quarterback at Utah. Going back to that Sugar Bowl.
Mark, I remember that 09 Sugar Bowl of the 08 season. Brian Johnson, 336 passing yards, 3 touchdowns to beat Alabama 31-17. I remember that.